Picture this.
You move into a beautiful home in a really nice neighborhood, and as you're taking in your surroundings, you look out the window and notice your neighbor has an old, ugly, raggedy fence. It's not the ugliest fence on the block or the neighborhood. It's the ugliest fence in the city. And that neighbor is...
That neighbor is me. I'm your neighbor with the ugly fence. But you know what? The time has come. That thing gotta go. In today's video, we gonna disassemble the old fence, put up the new fence, and I'm talking picket by picket. All DIY. You don't believe me? Keep watching.
Now, before I even touch the fence, I start off by creating a diagram and measuring everything out. That way I can calculate the square footage and plan all my materials. Because once I build this fence, I'm also going to be staining and sealing it. I'm not replacing the posts. Instead, I'm working around them. Yeah, they may be ugly, but they're still solid. So if it ain't broke, I ain't fixing it. The distance between them all differ. So I decided to go with individual fence pickets over the pre-made panels, which are normally 8 feet wide. I just don't feel like dealing with the cutting and the gaps. And yeah, no. Even if they were all perfectly aligned, I still wouldn't consider them because of the price. And I'll show you guys that in the breakdown. Now with everything measured, I know exactly how many pickets I need. Next, I measure the distance between the posts, the center of one to the center of the next. That's going to give me my measurement for the rails. With that done, I can pick up my wood and stain all in one trip. And before I forget, here's a list of all the materials that I used. I'm so ready to take down all these old fence panels, but before I do so, I have to cut and prep all my new rails. I do this for each and every section, because as the old fence comes down, the new fence is going up immediately right behind it. Now, as we're installing these pickets, we're doing so about 1.5 to 2 inches off the ground. You do not want your pickets sitting in water when it rains or when it snows. It's only going to encourage rot, and eventually they'll look just like this. These are my old fence panels. Whoever installed these did not allow for proper drainage. That is so important. I like to think I have a very good eye. So as we install a few pickets, I stand back, I look to make sure that they're level, and we keep going. I've never done this before, and I understand that I probably should have a laser level at this point, but right now I'm trusting myself. I eventually do buy a laser level because the perfectionist in me, I really want to make sure I'm not too far off base. Here, we're only worried about getting the pickets up. So a couple at the top, one at the bottom, and we keeping it moving. We install the last of the pickets, and I gotta take a break because I'm tired. And as I sit back and look at the fence, I'm in awe of what we've built. The following day, I come back and properly secure everything. We have been talking about this for years, and now that it's finally done, I can't believe it. This fence took us 2 days to build, 1 day for each side. And for 2 amateurs, prepping the rails saved us so much time. I don't know if this is how the professionals do it, but this is how I'm doing it. And for 2 people with 0 experience, this is pretty good. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this gate stayed like this for a couple of weeks, mainly because I was intimidated. I'm not hiring a contractor. I'm just not doing that. So I'm going to be the one that's gonna have to design and build this gate. And one day I got over my fear. I said, girl, you can build a gate. So I went outside and I built a gate. Now, I done already said I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm not doing a whole lot of explaining with this gate. I'm just gonna kind of step through and show y'all how I did it. I'm probably just gonna put some words on the screen because I just don't feel like talking through every step. Now, before I attach the gate and get into these before and after pictures, I don't want to forget to ask, how much do you think this would have cost me had I hired a professional? Let's break it down. I reached out to a local fence builder in my area, and for materials, labor, and the disposal of my old fence, I was given a quote for $4,500. Now, to do this ourselves, we paid $322 for the pickets and rails, $40 for the screws, and I mentioned that I got that laser level. That cost me about $40 as well. At the end of the day, I only spent about $400. Now, although doing it ourselves required us to put that work in, I don't mind. Now, my back and knees would disagree. And doing so, we saved over $4,000. Now, y'all already know what I'm finna ask. Does this DIY make sense? You better know it. The gate is attached. Now let's get into these before and afters. Our fence was so ugly before, and trust me, as we were building this fence, we got so many compliments. Someone even said we got the best fence in the neighborhood. Now that's a bit of a stretch, but it is the ultimate pat on the back. Honestly, this video is a little longer than I had planned, so if you want to see the full transformation of this fence, stay tuned for part 2, where I'm also going to review this Valspar semi-translucent stain that I used.
My fence is so pretty. Oh my God. I never thought that we would be able to do all of that all ourselves. Listen, if you're the neighbor with the ugly fence on the block in the neighborhood or in your city, with the right tools, research, and confidence, you can do this too. Don't ever doubt yourself, because if I can do it, so can you. Shout out to my new subscribers, and I got one last question for y'all. Does DIY make sense? You better know it. Thanks for watching. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.